Hello and welcome. This is Nationwide News on the network service of the NTA. I am Noleen Abel Ameh with the news. Let's begin the bulletin by telling you that President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to attend the Saudi Africa Summit, which is scheduled to take place on Friday, November 10, 2023. The president aboard the Nigerian 001 flight landed at the King Khalid International Airport, Riyadh, at about 10 a.m. local time. On arrival, he was received with an extended guard of honor and then representatives of the Saudi government. Saudi is hosting African countries in a one-day Saudi Africa Summit, which is the first of its kind. In a statement, the presidential advisor on media and publicity, Ajurin states that at the Saudi Africa Summit, the president will underscore Nigeria's commitment to attracting more foreign direct investment and expanding business partnerships, which are strongly reinforced by his administration's ongoing domestic economic reforms. The special advisor added that discussions at the first Saudi Africa Summit will revolve around supporting joint action, enhancing political coordination, addressing regional security threats, facilitating economic transformation through research and the local development of new energy solutions, all while bolstering cross-sectoral investment cooperation. The president is expected to return to Abuja following the conclusion of the Saudi Africa Summit. In his determination to ensure that every segment of society is sufficiently catered for within the ambit of the renewed hope agenda of his administration, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Mr. Mohammed Abba Issa to serve as the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Disability Matters. In a statement via his Special Advisor Media and Publicity, Ajurin the President, who describes the new appointee as a distinguished champion of persons with disabilities, charges him to proactively create avenues of opportunity for inclusion of persons with disabilities into the policies and programs of all ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government. Senate has kick-started Nigeria's economic and financial roadmap for the next 3 years, the first under the current administration. The medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper interactive session, as posited by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, is coming at a time of massive pressure on finances, economic projections and policies he emphasized should be prepared in ways that would yield improved revenue, block leakages, reduce deficit, and improve the well-being of citizens in fulfillment of the renewed hope agenda. Senator Akpabio emphasized that heads of ministries, departments, and agencies of government must avail themselves for this critical national exercise. Now, in a bid to resonate hope of a better future for Nigeria's children and repositioning basic education, the House of Representatives says it is mapping out a workable legislative framework for the sector. National Assembly correspondent Issa Mohammed has more on this and other inaugural meetings of some standing committees.
For years, past governments have introduced different educational reforms, such as Universal Basic Education (UBE), to reposition basic education as a foundation for a better future of children. Chairman House Committee on Basic Education, Dr. Mark Hussein, speaks on improving the system to change the narratives.
This we can do by bringing about effective legislative framework that will help to save the situation of basic education in Nigeria.
Members also chart the way forward. From the National Assembly, Issa Mohammed, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill for an act to amend the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2004 to enhance accountability as well as effective checks and balances in the governance structure and operations of the Apex Bank. Sponsor of the bill, Representative Ejiro Hegene Francis Wave, who led the debate, called for amendments of critical sections of the CBN Act that borders on the composition of the board of the Apex Bank. The bill also seeks to strengthen fiscal accountability at the CBN and protect public interest in the event of a new need for currency swap or Naira redesign as witnessed in recent times.
Be public, and it must give up to 1 year notice, and there must be clarity in transition and not done in an haphazard way and that looks a bit secret. It must be published and it must be up to a year by law. The budgetary process of the central bank. I propose here, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that the bank shall prepare and submit to the National Assembly through Mr. President, not later than the 30th of September each year, an estimate of his expenditure and income during the succeeding year.
We don't need a soothsayer to tell Nigerians of what actually transpired, particularly last year, on the issue of CBN and the public relationship.
And we have seen a lot of loopholes, which has led to abuses, particularly the last central bank governor, who, whilst on the seat, was even contesting or meeting to contest for presidency, and we appear to be helpless because there are no sufficient provisions in the Act.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it.
Hingino John Adams joins us from Lagos Network Center for more on Nationwide. Hello, Hingino. Good to see you.
Noleen. The comprehensive rehabilitation of the third mainland bridge has been flagged off by the Minister of Works, David Umahi, and Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat. This marks the official commencement of repair works on the 11.8-kilometer bridge.
Comprehensive repair works on the third mainland bridge, the minister said, will be based on mutual understanding between federal and Lagos state government. To minimize discomfort for the road users, the minister explained that contractors will also work at night to ensure that work is completed within the shortest possible time.
Over 260 routes nationwide, 36 at FCT. That is costing about 217 billion, and by this supplementary appropriation, 50% is to be released. And so I would like the governor of Lagos State to also flag off, that rehabilitation because work is starting in earnest by Monday.
This is another project being flagged off by the minister in conjunction with the deputy governor of Lagos State, which is called the Coastal Road, that will start from here all the way to Port Harcourt and route Calabar. And the deputy governor says they have created a right-of-way for this road, and any construction on the road will be removed.
Now this project is about to start. Please understand the right of way. Don't go and build on the right of way, please.
Called the EPCR, which connotes engineering, procurement, construction and financing. The Lagos Calabar Road construction is a public-private partnership. The minister revealed that apart from a concrete road, the project will include rail, social amenities, among others. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
Providing effective stimulus for business growth and access to credit for SMEs to fast-track economic development through job creation is the assurance the federal government is giving Nigerians. The Minister of State, Labor and Employment reiterated this when the National Directorate of Employment, NDE, made a special appearance at the ongoing Lagos International Trade Fair. Adeola Komiakere reports.
About the National Bureau of Statistics indicate an alarming 42% unemployment rate in the country, while 63% of Nigerians are said to be living below the poverty line of $1.9 per day. To tackle this worrisome trend, the federal government, through the Ministry of Labour and Employment, has in the last 3 years implemented programs across all facets of the economy to increase employment opportunities to fight poverty in the country. Minister of State, Labour and Employment speaks of government's plan to launch a 5-year roadmap for the actualization of its renewed hope agenda to close the unemployment gap and create a vibrant economy.
You train people because you're passionate and you want them to leave the streets. You want them to leave the unemployment gap, and you want them to be responsible to themselves.
The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, on its part, said it would continue to use the fair to provide opportunities to connect businesses, increase value addition by expanding access to payment services, and deepen financial inclusion.
All of us are supporting government and praying for Nigeria and doing our own best in our own locations to support government. I'm very confident that Nigeria will get to the level where we should be.
Also leverage of opportunities presented by international trade fairs such as this to lead in any entrepreneurs international markets with their products and services, thereby assisting the federal government to earn foreign exchange for national economic stability and growth.
The minister earlier visited the Directorate's pavilion at the trade fair to appreciate its willingness to partner with individuals and organizations to promote made-in-Nigeria goods on display and services rendered by participants. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Makurdi after this break.
It's good to have you join us in Makurdi. The Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, is assessing performance of state governors so as to ensure they meet the yearnings of the electorate. Aliyu Tijani reports that the committee was in Nasarawa State and inspected projects embarked upon by the present administration in the state.
A peer review visit where members of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, an umbrella body of all political parties in the country, is expected to assess performance of the 36 state governors. While in Nasarawa State, the team inspects some completed and ongoing projects of the present administration in the state. At an audience with the state governor, Chairman of IPAC, Yabagisani, says the period of politicking is over and now is time to deliver dividends of democracy to the people, irrespective of party in power. He explains that IPAC initiated the concept of peer review in order to keep leaders at all levels on track in delivering good governance. IPAC commends Governor Abdullahi Sule for laudable projects and policies aimed at stimulating economic growth in the state.
I believe you are doing a very wonderful job. I believe all of us are happy. I believe you are stable as far as
Governor Abdullahi Sule says his administration will continue to provide governance to the people, irrespective of party difference. He notes that with campaigns and elections over, he is preoccupied with issues of governance and how to improve lives of the people of the state. The governor appreciates IPAC for initiating the peer review visit, which he says will improve governance in the country.
You are people of high integrity, and there is nothing you are looking from me that you have to pressing. I know whatever you say, you are saying it from your heart, and that's the same way you are going to speak when you visit any governor.
In Lafia, Aliyu Tijani, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force is determined to boost the morale of officers and men of the force by ensuring that their physical, mental and psychological well-being are given priority. Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command Makurdi, Air Vice Marshal Francis Edosa disclosed this during the 10-kilometer walk and jog organized for personnel at the North Base, Makurdi. Blessing Omeche Ibuti has details.
And jog commenced with a fitness exercise and medical checkup where officers and men were ascertained fit to embark on the business of the day. The 10-kilometer walk and jog, according to the Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command, Air Vice Marshal Francis Edosa, is a routine of the Nigerian Air Force in ensuring that officers and men are combat ready and fit to confront any security challenges.
We have the responsibility of ensuring the security of lives and properties of citizens of our dear nation. And for us to achieve this objective, I consider three things. First and foremost is people, and that is us. Second is process, and thirdly is platforms. Among these three, the most critical in my thinking is the people.
Guest of honor at the event, Force Commander Operation Wide Stroke, Major General Sunday Igbonowahia, commended the spirit of sportsmanship displayed during the exercise as it will continue to promote cordial interagency collaborations.
The huge success of today's exercise is a shared reflection of our preparedness to shoulder our responsibilities as members of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, especially in the current fight against insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, cattle rustling, cultism, and other forms of insecurity bedeviling our dear nation.
High points of the event were the presentation of gifts to winners in the various categories of joggers and walkers. The annual 10-kilometer walk and jog exercise of the Nigerian Air Force, observed in all NAF bases nationwide, is aimed at enhancing physical fitness of its personnel. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
And that does it from Makurdi. It's back to Noleen in Abuja for more on NTA Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Susan Omale. And from Makurdi, we take you to Owerri, where ahead of Saturday's governorship election in Imo State, major political parties and their candidates shunned the signing of a peace accord organized by National Peace Committee. Chukwubuke Chukwu reports that over 13 political parties and their candidates boycotted the exercise. All right, we may bring you the story in the course of the bulletin. Let's move on now. In anticipation of the upcoming off-cycle election in Kogi State this Saturday, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, political parties and civil society groups are concluding their preparations for the imminent electoral process. Before connecting with Jonathan Omajali for live updates, let's delve into this report on the ongoing activities and preparedness in Lokoja, the capital of Kogi State.
9 months after filing out for the general elections, the people of Kogi State are set for another election, this time to elect the next governor of the state. Campaigns have been in full swing since June. But few hours from now, the curtains will be drawn. INEC, security agencies and other stakeholders are already putting finishing touches to their preparations.
From what we have observed across board, the INEC activities have indicated the materials are available. The security personnel, both the ones that you can notice and the ones you cannot notice, in the last 3 days have also been in town. There may be more that will be coming probably later today or tomorrow, depending on their rank. But I think, like you said, the IG was around. And from the report we are also getting across the state, I believe that election should be peaceful. The civil society have not also relent. We have used all the means within our disposal to advocate for free and fair elections.
18 candidates are jostling for the governorship position in the state. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
And now, still staying with Jonathan Omajali, he has a report live for us from Lokoja. Hello, Jonathan, it's over to you.
Noleen, a very good afternoon to you.
just like you heard in that report. Preparation is in top gear. As I speak to you right now, the distribution of sensitive materials to the 21 local government in Kogi State is ongoing. Of course, on Monday, when the INEC, the resident electoral commissioner for Kogi State, addressed the press, he said the commission is ready. Of course, he said 15,000 ad hoc staff have been recruited for the exercise, for the smooth running of the exercise in Kogi State. Don't forget that we also have 3,508 polling units, and they are going to be manning these polling units to ensure that everything goes well. Of course, in terms of security, you can feel it in the air. Deployment of soldiers, police, and of course other security bodies. They'll be moving. Maybe you can even hear it in the background as I'm speaking to you now. So preparation is in top gear. Just yesterday, the IGP was around, and one of the things he said was that troublemakers in the state should embrace peace, else they are going to face the full wrath of the law. And of course, that is a kind of strong warnings that we need at this point in time to ensure that everything goes on smoothly. So of course, INEC is ready. The security agencies are not leaving anything to chance, and we hope that by Monday, by Saturday, we are going to have a very smooth election in Kogi State.
All right, we hope so, Jonathan. Thank you very much for your contribution from that end. All right, from Kogi State, we take you to Bielsa, where preparations for the election is in top gear as security agents and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, makes last-minute preparations in earnest.
Bielsa is a coastal state, and as such, most of its communities are accessible through the waterways.
How far shall we go? All the way!
Well, the Bielsa State governorship election just 2 days away, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has assured that the peculiar terrain of the state will not be a problem in terms of security.
Since it's a joint task force, everybody is coming to play his own role on the ground. And we can assure the public that we'll continue to provide the necessary security that's required.
The show of force by the Nigerian Navy, NNS Sorrow, Forward Operating Base Formoso, and Naval Outpost Kolama, led by the operation officer, is a clear demonstration of the force readiness for the peaceful conduct of the election.
Nigerian Navy ship Sorrow has fully prepared to ensure a safe and secured environment for the conduct of a free, fair and credible elections in Bielsa State.
Bielsans are advised to go out and exercise their franchise without fear, as the Navy, in collaboration with sister security agencies, is ready to provide safe and secure environment for the off-cycle Bielsa State governorship election. Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
And still in Bielsa, we now join Aya Prizi in Yenagua for more updates on preparations for Saturday's election in Bielsa. Over to you, Aya.
Okay. Welcome to Yenagua, Bielsa State capital. At Bielsa State local government areas, and 105 registration areas, also known as electoral wards, which will be holding elections, where elections will be taking place on 11th Saturday, November 2023. Am I on air or preparation? Okay. So on that note, a lot of activities have been put in place. INEC, in fact, has engaged various stakeholders, which include the securities sector, the media, political parties, and even the traditional institution on the need to ensuring that the elections on Saturday 11/2023 are peaceful, fair, and credible. Well, the electorate, they are prepared, they are well prepared for the elections. All their expectation is that they will be in the various polling units to do the needful. But what they expect from from INEC and security stakeholders is to ensure that their votes count come Saturday 11/2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aya. It's good to know that everything is in place in Bayelsa State for the upcoming election on Saturday. Away from that, since the inception of the National Social Investment Programs in 2016, there is still a huge gap in addressing the poverty index for Nigeria. National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Programs Agency, Halima Shehu, said this during a press briefing in Abuja as she vows to look into areas of operational lapses to better the lives of poor and vulnerable Nigerians through transformative intervention programs. She noted that the growing population of poor and vulnerable groups is twice higher than the average population of Nigerians who can afford basic needs, and not up to 30% of that population have been empowered.
In any society, the more the people are uplifted out of poverty, the lesser the crime rate in any society. As we all know, the programs have witnessed so many criticisms in the country for lack of transparency, accountability, free and fair selection of beneficiaries, realistic database. We hope to do better in this aspect, especially now that the programs are governed by an act, which is a legal framework that clearly states the functions of the agency and the chief executive officer and the stakeholders.
She also expressed readiness towards poverty alleviation in the country, while seeking collaborations from all stakeholders to make the renewed hope mantra of President Bola Tinubu's administration a practical reality among vulnerable Nigerians. All right, Beatrice Anyanwu in Owerri joins us at this moment on Nationwide on update for the coming election there. Beatrice, it's over to you.
Thank you, Noleen. Yes, preparations for the election are ongoing, and stakeholders are putting fingers for whatever they have to do a successful election. As I speak to you right now, the INEC are at the Central Bank of Nigeria, where they are distributing the sensitive materials to the various local government areas of the state. We have 27 local government areas in Imo State, so the materials are moving one by one to those areas. And in the morning, the INEC REC, in company of the National Commissioner for Southeast, they took delivery of the materials in the presence of the party agents. The security representatives of the security agents in the state were also there. I went for monitoring that early hour, so everything was going on smoothly at that moment. I know that it's still smooth at this point in time, and I also know that INEC has also done a lot of sensitization on this for a credible election. They have engaged various stakeholders that is involved for the delivering. Okay, there's no problem. There's no problem at the moment with Owerri. There is movement. Everybody is going about their normal businesses, and there is no tension at the moment. Security agencies are also deployed to the states because the security agencies have done much to ensure that they will maintain peace and order for this election. The people are moving about their normal businesses as we speak.
to know that people are moving around their normal businesses.
Peace accord was signed by all the 18 political parties engaged in this fielding candidates for this election on Saturday. Although we observed the candidates did not actually come, they sent their representatives, majorly their candidates, and they all signed the peace accord.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. Thank you very much. Stakeholders are strategizing on ways of promoting national values and strengthening security and government for rapid growth and development of the country. This was at a strategic session on financial and cross-border crimes and governance integrity, where national values for nation building resonated. Stakeholders appealed to security agents as well as citizens to share knowledge that will put the country in the right trajectory.
We take on a national responsibility, so we need to revert back to who we are, those primordial values.
The highlight is to encourage that it is possible to be transparent, to be honest, to have integrity, and to be humble in my place of work.
Many of us have become comfortable armchair critics, but you still find out that some people stand up to confront the challenges, to contribute in whatever way possible, contributing ideas, contributing to the conversations and the debates to change the narrative of our nation.
The session says financial and cross-border crimes and governance integrity are basic ingredients that requires attention of state and non-state actors to guarantee a safe and economically viable nation. The Nigerian Armed Forces can enlist more women and draw more strength in the fight against insecurity by revisiting and revising its laws, making it more equitable and attractive for women to join. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this at a conference on gender mainstreaming convened by the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. Represented by wife of the Vice President Nana Kashim Shettima, the First Lady applauded the Nigerian Armed Forces for taking the initiative to deepen gender mainstreaming and inclusiveness in the Nigerian military as a way of tackling security challenges in the country. Gender mainstreaming, she says, is a fundamental shift, recognizing that not only military strength but protection of human rights and other non-military initiatives are required to keep the country safe. To improve on the records so far achieved, the First Lady says the right framework and environment must be in place.
And addressing such incidents.
Minister of Defense Badaru Abubakar notes that the current administration is not only ready for initiatives that can tackle insecurity in the country, but also committed to bridging gender gaps and foster inclusion. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa says despite posting 28.9% of women participation in peacekeeping operations, surpassing the UN benchmark, the Nigerian Armed Forces will strive to do more to build its capacity through gender mainstreaming. Launch of the Armed Forces of Nigeria Gender Magazine was the high point of the opening ceremony. We shall now join Nana in our Sokoto Network Center for more contribution from that axis on Nationwide. Hi, Nana.
Morning. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here in Sokoto. Towards improving its internally generated revenue, IGR, and to reduce over-dependence on the federal allocation, Sokoto State Government has procured vehicles and motorcycles to enhance operations of the state's revenue service. Saidu Abdul Nasir reports that the Secretary to the State Government, Muhammad Bello Sifawa, launched the vehicles in Sokoto.
The procurement of 15 vehicles and 25 motorcycles by Sokoto State Government is to serve as incentive to the State Internal Revenue Service to carry out its operations smoothly, which include general supervision and control of collection of personal income tax in the state, supervision of revenue collected by other ministries, departments and agencies, among others. Governor Ahmed Ali, represented, stated that the internally generated revenue had been nothing to write home about, but decisive measures have been taken to improve the state's IGR. He disclosed that the vehicles were procured from the revenues accruing to the state and tasked personnel of the agency to make judicious use of the vehicles. He stressed that government attaches importance to revenue generation drive to deliver on its mandate.
The era of depending 100% on federal revenue allocation is over.
Commissioner of Finance, Sokoto State Muhammad Shagari, appreciated the state governor for the initiative and called on staff of the Revenue Service to ensure that all revenues collected go to the government purse.
His Excellency is bound to ensure that all that is due to Sokoto is given to Sokoto. That's why he said each and every naira must be Sokoto. It's either work or money.
Chairman, Sokoto State Internal Revenue Service Abubakar Zaki Tambol, says the agency is committed to ensuring that the state IGR is increased significantly. Staff of the agency were happy over the development. In Sokoto, Zainab Said Abdul Nasir, NTA News.
Internally displaced persons in Sokoto State have heaved a sigh of relief as the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Usman Danfodio University Sokoto chapter, distributes assorted food items to ameliorate their sufferings. Lalhatu Abdullahi reports that the association further advocates more human support for the IDPs to facilitate their speedy resettlement in their communities.
Ameh conflicts, insurgency and banditry have over the years displaced the communities in many parts of Nigeria. Consequently, these conflicts had consumed the lives and property of innocent citizens and rendered more than 2 million homeless across the country. Concerned by the plight of internally displaced persons in Sokoto State, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Usman Danfodio University chapter, like its counterparts across Nigeria, is providing support to these people to reduce their hardship.
The little we are giving them is not enough for them. They miss their farming, they miss their cattle rearing and all of that. So we are calling on the government to provide adequate security, because that is the key, and then prepare for their resettlement back to their homes.
Some of the beneficiaries appreciate the union for its benevolence and appeal to government and wealthy individuals to provide amenities at the temporary shelter to ease their living conditions. The special advisor to Sokoto State Governor on Emergency Management, Nasiru Garba Kalambaina, assured the state government's commitment to provide necessary support to IDPs in the state and ensure their resettlement. In Sokoto, Alhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Well, that's our contribution from Sokoto. Nationwide, we will continue after the break at Jos. Thanks.
To further strengthen the bond of understanding and healthy relationship, the University of Jos held a peace-building interface with its neighboring communities. Priscilla Grumnan reports that the interface attracted key players from the communities.
Given the past cycle of crisis witnessed in Jos, which affected relationship and mutual trust, the need for continuous dialogue and confidence building towards lasting and sustainable peace is key. Gathered in this hall at the instance of the University of Jos are key players from the three communities of Angorogu, Ngorimi, and Zinaria, putting heads together towards fostering peace and harmonious coexistence. Vice-Chancellor of the University of Jos represented stated the commitment of the institution towards building lasting peace for meaningful development.
The Holy Book said,
love your neighbor as thyself. And the university have the mandate to live in peace with its neighbors, while the neighbors have the responsibility to live in peace with the university community.
The only way to achieve peace is by what we call fairness and justice. And we believe the University of Jos is trying its best.
In a paper titled Peace and Relationship Building, Dr. Yemise Amopiton maintains that peace is the fundamental component of societal development, urging communities to live peacefully.
The greatest value of humanity is peace. And without peace, there can be progress.
The stakeholders are delighted that the interface will close the gaps and strengthen mutual understanding, describing the event as apt. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Plateau State government says it will not hesitate to bring to book school administrators compromising standard. It was reacting to proliferation of unregistered illegal private schools in the state. Ijoma Ozamina has details.
It is the desire of every government at all levels to provide quality education for its citizens. As a result, Plateau State government, in collaboration with the federal government, issued operating licenses to private schools which are directive to follow the procedures of school establishment. Despite this, some of the schools are compromising standard.
After the 2 weeks exercise, the ministry will have no option but to move out for defaulters on all the illegal private schools operating without license from the government. The State Minister of Education learned that the proliferations of unregistered illegal private schools in the state had robbed the state of potential impact on education. Even as it's noted that other reliable reports indicated that many of the private schools hide their location in order to circumvent routine inspection by the quality assurance of the ministry. We are not unmindful of the fact that we want to ensure that private schools operate within the norms and values of the ministry.
He advised school administrators, particularly private schools, to adhere strictly to government policies on establishment of schools, even as the ministry concludes arrangements to embark on routine inspection of schools. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemina, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. It's back to Noleen in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Very well, Bilkisu Nuhu, thank you very much. The scheduled flights for domestic and international routes at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, are going smoothly after early morning disruptions from the faction of the Labour Party. The Labour Union, rather. The situation which caused the confusion and panicking at the toll gate of the airport has been brought under control with the intervention of the security agencies. A visit by the NTA crew revealed that all passengers and every other operations at the airport are steadily progressing. Speaking to some of the members of the aviation unions off camera, comprising the National Union of Air Transport Employee and Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, disclosed that their members are going about their normal day-to-day activities. Some of the passengers confirmed that they are undertaking their normal trips in and out of the airport at the normal flight schedule without any hitch.
Some person said it has been resolved, but they came to address them that it has been brought to normal.
Not so long ago, a friend of mine called me and told me that there were some discrepancies at the airport and everything was closed. But getting here, I'm here at the airport right now. I'm about to check in, and so everything is good right now.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has said the 2023 supplementary budget signed into law by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not insensitive, but a bold and pragmatic response to the pressing and economic challenges Nigeria currently faces. The minister, in a statement by his special assistant on media, Rabiu Ibrahim, urged the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, to take the time and effort to acquaint himself with the details of the 2.17 trillion 2023 supplementary budget, which includes allocations for essential sectors. The statement advised the political opposition to be informed and balanced in the exercise of their right and refrain from misrepresentation of facts for political gains, as all items in the supplementary budget have been meticulously scrutinized to ensure efficient utilization of public funds in line with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. And next is a sports update.
Federal government will support ongoing preparations to host the first ever Olympic qualifying tournament for canoe events at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games after 20 countries confirmed participation at the event in Abuja from November 19 to 26. President Nigeria Rowing, Canoe and Sailing Federation, Admiral Festus Pobeni, disclosed this to NTA Sports after a one-on-one session with Minister of Sports Development, John Eno, in Abuja.
My minister, our mother ministry, what they do for us makes us to survive. So, and he has given us all assurance, going to help us as much as possible.
Meanwhile, the new partnership between NTA Star TV Network and the Nigeria Premier Football League, which will see no less than 4 matches beamed live every match day, has been described as crucial to the rebranding and development of the league. Chairman of the league board, Gbenga Elegbeleye, while speaking on the developments in the Nigerian top flight, also revealed that violence at match venues, which is becoming a thing of the past, is a testament to the disciplinary measures being put in place by the league organizers and improved officiating.
That's why it was okay. Anywhere where they beat referee, we remove 3 points from that team. So the referee must be safe to officiate.
And finally, Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface will be hoping to help Bayer Leverkusen secure an automatic ticket to the second round of the Europa League when they face Qarabag in one of the matchday 4 encounters Thursday night. Nigeria's Ademola Lookman is also expected to be in action for Atalanta against SK Sturm Graz. In other fixtures, Liverpool play away at Toulouse. Ajax and Brighton will face off with Slavia Praha playing host to Italian side Roma. With sports update, Badi Adeleye, NTA News.
Badi's story concludes Nationwide News today. Thank you for watching. I am Noleen, Abel Ameh. Do have a lovely evening.